Hey everyone, welcome back. Our next guest is a multi-modality healing facilitator, teacher, and speaker. She is a founder of MINKA Brooklyn, a collectively run healing space that centers the work of undoing all forms of social oppression through healing an uncapitalistic approach to business. She joins us today to speak about the upcoming classes and training courses at MINKA that provide wellness and harmonious living for all. Everyone, please welcome Aki Hirata Baker.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Well, welcome. And thank you for committing yourself to being here. I know you're just getting over COVID.
Yes, I am.
Yes. And well, it's a good thing you're on the other side.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, well, thank you, and I'm happy that you're in a better place. And unfortunately, we are living in a day and age where it's the reality is we have to live with it, right? And so, in living with it, let's talk a little bit about MINKA first, right? And what I guess inspired you to find this collective, because I also noticed that nobody takes complete ownership over it, which I think is really lovely.
Yeah. And people are always like, oh, you own MINKA. I was like, I don't own MINKA. It almost feels like MINKA owns me. I'm working for MINKA because, as of anything spiritually in nature, I look at our business as its own entity, that it has its own mission. And MINKA's mission is to make sure that people of color are seen as a thought leaders, teachers, and a way shower. I started MINKA, quite honestly, being frustrated, going to different wellness and healing spaces. All the teachers who are teaching the arts were European descent most of the time. And students, rarely people of color. I myself being probably only one of a few Asians. And if I were to look for Black, Brown, and Indigenous people, they may not be sitting in a space, right? And these teachers are elevated to be a teacher and who knows things. And I saw a lot of lost in translation, because people who were teaching these arts were not coming from the understanding of the sensitive, nuanced cultural information. And one, I thought it was a detriment to the holistic arts in general. And then two, that I know that there were so many people of color who teaches these things, that who needs to be put to the forefront of this field. So that's really where it started for me.
Right. And then the name itself means home of the people, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so let's talk about your journey into becoming a holistic healer and the founder of this, because I know you had to overcome your own issues into learning how to just be a self-healer, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's really how another reason for MINKA being structured the way it is because of that very thing, that we have living in this world where experts are outside of us, that doctors and then academia and all of those things are outside and they have the power. But what we really have to remember is that our body is designed to heal itself. That when we get a cut, if your body is functioning okay, then it's going to heal itself. And it's actually the same thing for everything else that happens within our body. We forget that our body is constantly healing itself, right? So then that's really how I came to this place of working on myself, and then now to share that with everybody.
Right. And so, I mean, in case you guys are wondering what we're referring to, I know that she suffered from chronic bronchitis for a very long time. And she also dealt with depression for a very long time. And throughout her practice, she was able to figure out how to apply her energy on herself. And so I would love for you to elaborate further. I just wanted to give everybody a taste of the specifics in which the energy healing is also part of the wellness process.
Yeah. And, I think a lot of the times that people who knows me now kind of think like, oh, she must have been always been that way. It actually is not true, right? I started out in this holistic healing practice 20 years ago, and I started out from something very tangible, which is Ayurvedic medicine that's healing through food and all of that. And I have done all these things, but my depression and my chronic illness just did not go away. And it has gotten to a place where I was just really struggling. I was struggling so much, and I really really contemplated on ending my life. Even with my children being young, I just almost felt like I may be actually not contributing to my children's wellness, but I may be detracting from it because of the way how I was being. And when I got to the place, I have to do something that I have never done before, it was just so out there that I didn't consider doing, which were energy healing and vibrational medicine. And through trying that out, and just to be brief and explaining exactly what I did, I had 10 months bronchitis that would not go away. And only thing that worked for me was going to an acupuncture, but I have to go every 2 weeks, otherwise it'll come back. And I thought to myself, well, I love acupuncture, but I don't want to be dependent on it because it's financially not feasible for me, right? So then I actually picked up this book, and it's called Donna Eden's Energy Medicine. And there was this particular exercise you do to reset your energy. I just instinctively knew something was just not functioning the way it needed to. I know my body should be well because I'm a reasonably healthy person. So I did this exercise, I would say furiously. I was just to the point, I was like, I couldn't do anything else. I needed something. So I did this work for 2 days, only 2 days. I have not been sick since. Well, I just got COVID. So, but it's been about 10 years that I did not get sick.
Right. No, I get it. But also, even though you got COVID, had you had the other condition, it might have been worse than what you've experienced. So, yeah. So just to clarify that as well, right?
Yes,
and so COVID is kind of like, one of those things right now where you're kind of like, hey, bob and weave.
Get me, come get me. No, don't get me.
Exactly. So, so that being said, based on your quick synopsis of your foundation, which was like 20 something years ago, now you have this amazing establishment that is collectively managed, and you have these classes that you're offering. And I want to make sure that we mention them before we run out of time, because you have Reiki certifications, you have this path of alignment. I mean, I can go over them, and we can briefly just mention like which you feel like somebody who's just starting should attend, and or where the benefits come from, because it could be a little intimidating if it's something unfamiliar to you, right? So the idea is that you have a self-care membership, right? And so got self-care classes and content from anywhere monthly. You've got virtual community Reiki, the path of alignment. You've got Reiki certification 1, Reiki 2 certification, family and systemic constellations, ecological consciousness and reciprocity. I mean, this is all language that I love. You also have sound healing, right? Bringing sound into your healing work. And you've got an IET certification, which I don't know what IET certification stands for, but I know that MINKA is also a mystery school. So let's really sum it up as quickly as we possibly can so our viewers understand everything that I just read off.
So MINKA is a mystery school because life is a mystery, right? And we want to get to the next phase of our humanity right now. We really know that something hasn't been working and we need something new. In order for that new to come, we need to dive into something we haven't experienced yet. And we are a school where we think about that, but we don't only think about it from this kind of woo-woo standpoint of like, oh, I'm just going to go somewhere and I'm going to be mysterious. That's not what we are doing. We think that in order for our society to function in a way that we all want to, then we all need to step into that part of ourselves that is a mysterious part of ourselves. We all have that capacity, and that's what we all do at MINKA. And one of the things that you mentioned is the membership, self-care membership. And that's something that we can all start from, because the thing is, it's not something about you go to this retreat and you become a different person. It comes from the practice, and you yourself know that, right? It's building that basic practice that you can be supported in. So if anyone is interested in starting that journey, I highly recommend that membership. So you can start and be with us and start doing things kind of like every day.
Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and giving us and being authentic and transparent in your journey and being so like direct about just taking the initiative to take matters into your own hands. So thank you. Thank you, Aki Hirata Baker. Once again, you guys, for more on Aki and MINKA Brooklyn, you can visit both their websites. One is soulflowermedicine.com and the other is MINKABrooklyn.com. Stay tuned because Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next. Namaste, Aki.
Thank you.